Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Ramp podcast. Real Access Motivates Progress with me, your guest host, Diana Perkins. I'm filling in for Tina this week as she's preparing to head to nationals, and I hope you guys can all support her in that. But today we have a very special guest, Maddie Highland, the lead designer at Liberare. Welcome, Maddie.
Hey, so nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So, tell us first of all, what is Liberare?
Absolutely. So Liberare is a fashion company, and we specialize in lingerie, so bras, underwear, pajamas for disabled women specifically.
That's awesome. So I actually have been a fan of Intimately, which became Liberare for a long time. The founder, Emma Butler, and I went to college together. So I'm so excited that you guys could join us. So tell me a little bit about you. How did you become a part of Liberare and what have you been working on since joining?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I love that you guys went to college together. That's so cool. I joined Liberare about a year ago, actually almost a year ago today. My work anniversary is coming up. And so what I do there is basically I'm in charge of the design and development of new products. And so what I'll do is I'll look at trends, but I'll sort of incorporate them in ways that are functional and still beautiful for disabled women. We have a lot of women with disabilities on our team. So a lot of my designing is collaborative with them as well as the women in our community. We're really lucky to have a really great social media community of women who, between our ambassadors and just people who interact with us there, we have like really great feedback. So part of the fun of it is I'm always getting these awesome ideas from people and just trying to figure out, okay, like how do we make this work? Um, and that involves a range of things really. So it's everything from dealing with our overseas manufacturers for the like technical aspects of how does this get sewn? Where's this fabric coming from? All the way to developing specialty closures. For instance, we noticed that a lot of women in our test groups were having issues with limited hand dexterity. That's also an issue that's important to Emma as her mom has those ranges of disabilities. And so part of the fun in developing those items, which I can show you and we can talk about more, is that we developed magnetic closures that were super easy to both like close without pinching. And then they're also super easy to get off. So you don't have to like fumble with buttons or hooks or any of that stuff. So every day is like a new challenge. It's really cool.
That's super awesome. And I know that you have some products to show us. And if you guys stick around till the end, we'll be giving you a special ramp discount code. So I would love if you would show us a couple of the products you have and kind of talk us through what went into the design.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with my favorite product, which is the Liberare bra. And I'll back up a little so you can see it. This is a really cool wire-free bra. So there's no poking wire in the cups. And it features this really cool system of grip loops. So you can kind of put your fingers in like that. It's also, if you have a prosthetic, you can easily kind of put your prosthetic through. And then also you have the ability to grab the other side with like a thumb. And then all you need to do really to open them is push it together. And I apologize if it's a little hard to see on the screen in black. Trust me, it's something we've been dealing with. But yeah, so it has these little magnetic buttons and basically they work in the way like a puzzle would work. So they have two different sides and the magnet inside kind of helps bring them together. So they kind of come together almost on their own. And then they're super strong. So once they're closed, the pieces like latch together and they won't budge, which is pretty cool.
That is a very satisfying snap, by the way.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that because on our TikTok, we did like a ASMR thing with everything like opening and closing. And I
Love
really,
it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, it's really cool because it's lightweight. It's super easy to open and close, and you don't have to pinch or pull or any of that stuff. It's difficult. And then we also put the closure in the front and the slide adjusters in the front because we were getting feedback from women who are having a lot of difficulty either with shoulder mobility issues where they can't reach behind. I mean, even I don't really like doing that. It's just so fussy.
Who
So
does?
yeah, I mean, honestly, it saves everyone time. I feel like most like disability design actually benefits everyone, which is so cool. But yeah, so we moved that to the front and the closure to the front. And then we also have this really beautiful lace racer back, which besides just being like a cool detail, also helps the straps stay on your shoulder. So if you're maybe a little bit smaller up here, just from like lack of, maybe you don't use your arms as much, or maybe you're just a tinier shoulder person, it kind of helps stabilize. So that's my favorite one, is this bra. And then we have another really cute bra. This one's a little bit more of a bralette, so a little less support, but it does have removable foam cups inside. And you can also see this one at the center front has the little grip loops as well as a magnet. And this magnet is a little bit less, like it's not quite as easy. You do have to like kind of snap it apart. But what's really cool about it is that it snaps together by itself. So it's really good for somebody who, let's say, doesn't have as much issue with pinching or closing, but might still want the ease of like snapping something together in the front without, too much work. So there's that. And then it's also got this really cute strappy back. So you can kind of wear it like that.
Very nice.
Or you can actually like just clip it together up here with the ring, and then it becomes a racer back with like a cute strappy detail. Yeah, and it's got really pretty lace cups. I don't know if it's like that visible on the screen, but this one's just like a little bit like sexier and like more fun. And we feel like it's really important to have those kinds of styles and challenge the notion that, disabled women aren't sexy or like don't need sexy stuff, which is something that we've received feedback from like our customers as well. Like they really like having that option of like something that makes them feel, more like sexy and like sensual. And then to go along with those two bras, we actually have two pairs of underwear. So this one uses similar magnets to the one that you saw in the first bra. So this here, oops. So this is the Bikini. I believe it's an extra large, which is why it's a little bit bigger. But it's also got the little grip loops, so you can kind of slide your fingers in, and that will allow you to open the magnets. And what's cool about this one is that it's actually adjustable. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's two sets of magnets.
Nice.
So if you're having a day where you're bloating because of medication, or you just wanted like a little looser, tighter, depending on how you're feeling, you could have a little room to adjust it. And they're placed kind of in the front, so they're not going to dig into your hips. They are like a microfiber, so the plastic doesn't touch you. So overall, it's like a pretty comfy style. And then you do get that little pop of like lace on the side as well.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the last underwear I'll show you. This is our Tanga in the extra small. And so for this one, we wanted to give like a non-magnetic option just because some people do like the Velcro. But what we did here is we found a super thin, like super sleek micro. So it's just like a little patch here, and it's really easy to bring it together with the grip loops, and you can kind of just place it wherever. It also has the ability to kind of tighten or loosen depending. And then, we were careful to kind of make sure that the scratchy side wouldn't touch your skin. So this one's got like a cute lace back as well. Yeah. And so the last kind of pairing that we did in this group is a pair of pajamas, so a short and a cami. And we're doing that in 2 different fabrics. So if you go on our website, you'll see they're the same silhouettes. One is like more of a cotton rayon blend, and the other is a satin blend. So actually, I think I'll show you the satin one. It might show up a little bit better on the screen. But we've got these really cute shorts, and they're kind of like tap shorts. So they're a little bit like shorter than maybe your normal pajama short, and they do kind of go up on the side. And then what's cool about them is that they have 2 little Velcro patches on the waistband. So you can kind of just undo those 2 tabs and completely open, which makes it really great if you're doing seated dressing, or one woman actually told me she liked it for dealing with her colostomy bag easily. Like in the middle of the night, she can just kind of like open the side she needs, do what she needs to do, and then she doesn't have to like completely undress. So that's the adaptive feature on this one. And then on the tank, we did add about 2 inches of extra strap length to the straps, and they do slide pretty easily. So you can make it quite long, so the armhole's quite large, which is good if you, let's say again, have shoulder mobility issues, or maybe you're even just in a cast, or your arms don't have that range. It's really easy to kind of like put your elbow through and then just cinch it back around. And then what I love about this one, besides the adaptive features, is it has this really cute lace neckline, and the whole silhouette is just kind of like flowy and not super fitted. It's just really comfy.
Yes, I actually have the sleep set myself, and I think it's super cute.
Oh, nice.
Um, I would love to hear more about the design process of how you came up with these designs and how you incorporated the different experiences of women with different disabilities.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So when we started, Emma had already had a few ideas of what she wanted to incorporate based on her mom and people that she'd interacted with, her friends. So she did come to me with some ideas, and then I just kind of like sketched up some ideas for her, and it was funny, we just kind of realized that our ideas like kind of clicked, like synced together. So then we had to go about actually making them. So we went through a process of vetting different factories. So it was really important to us that we had an ethical factory that could do a small, kind of almost tailored run of products. And so we did, after a while, find somebody who could do that for us, which was great. And we got a mock-up made, so just like one piece, and we tested that, and didn't quite work out the way we'd hoped.
Or does?
Yeah, so first ideas are meant to fail, and so we tested it out with members on our team, we tested it out with members in our community, and there were just like things here and there, and I'm trying to go back and remember kind of like what the steps were. I think the grip loops were something that like developed right away. People were like, it's great that you've got a magnet here, but I can't, like, it's too hard to grip. So we're like, okay, we have to add something. So then there were the grip loops, and then we kind of kept going with the design. Then somebody realized, like, if you put too much pressure, we had different magnets before, and they were like, if you put too much pressure, it like pops off, and we're like, oh, that's definitely not good. So we, for a while, were really struggling to find a closure that was both light but strong, and like would hold but would be easy to take off. And so finally we were able to kind of develop those magnets that I just showed you on the bra. And then so once we got that, it was just really a matter of like the fine tuning. So things like I kind of already mentioned, but like the racer back, the front like adjusters instead of being on the back. And so it was really a very interesting process for me personally to have it be so collaborative, and it was more fun for me, honestly, that way. But just to kind of hear everyone's voice, and even though I feel we developed it with a range of women with a range of disabilities. I think we kind of did the best of like sourcing things that would make it universal. And it's been really cool just testing it out. We were actually at the Abilities Expo in LA earlier this year and had a range of women try it out. And someone who stuck out to me was this woman who was a quadriplegic. And she came up to our booth. She was very skeptical. And we watched her easily take the bra, throw it on, like just throw it on over her clothes and close it. And just the relief and kind of happiness she expressed about it just made me feel like, okay, we've done a good job with this. So that was really cool. But not to get sidetracked, we got it developed. We did like fittings, which was really cool. We had disabled models at a photo shoot try it on and give us
Including
more.
our own Christina Batista, board member of Ramp, is one of
Yes,
your models. I know.
yes, we had a bunch of great women from ZBD. I never know how to say it, but it's a disabled modeling agency. So we had a wheelchair user use it. We had a woman with a colostomy bag and another woman who had like a limb difference and prosthetic also use it. So it was a really cool experience to see it on these like real women of different sizes who could, like look beautiful in the garments. So that was like another highlight of the whole process. And yeah, we've launched in February and we did great. We've sold out, ordered another run, and now we're developing new stuff, which is so cool.
That's so awesome. And yeah, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have you guys on is I love how you've taken items that feel like, every innovation has been done and yet with such simple details added, such attention to detail, you guys have made them accessible not just for one specific type of disability, but for such a wide range of different abilities, mobilities, etc. And I just really love that. I would also really love to hear the story behind you guys used to be called Intimately, and then recently, within the last few months, you guys rebranded to become Liberare. Let me tell us a little bit about the motivation behind that and how that went.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll admit I trip up all the time when I say intimately because I miss it. I loved us being intimately, but I got to learn to love Liberare, and I do. But yeah, I mean, basically, we were thinking about long term growing and kind of what we really wanted to reflect. And so one of our company's like long term goals is to offer more than just intimates and like expand out into apparel. So that was part of it. Intimates kind of keeps us in that lane. And so yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests from women about doing swimwear, doing activewear, and so we really want to honor what people want. And hopefully, as we build, we'll be able to put those things out, which is really cool. And then another part of it, just like how we chose that name, was we liked that it kind of hinted at like liberare is like a Latin word for freedom, and we kind of liked how it reflected this idea of like the freedom to dress easily and the freedom to express yourself, and it just kind of like all came together really nicely. Yeah.
Very cool. So you mentioned that you're already working on the next upcoming line. Tell us a little bit more about what that includes and what's next for Liberare.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so excited about it. There's a lot of irons in the fire, actually. Some I can't really speak to quite yet. So if you guys want the announcements, I would suggest following us and maybe subscribing to the newsletter. So without getting myself in trouble, I will just say that we're developing another capsule collection of bras and underwear in a new fabric, and we're developing new closures. We got some requests for people who maybe wanted options that were still technical, maybe not magnetic. So we're kind of working with suppliers to create those. And What else can I say? Um, we're also working with some potential partnerships, which is really exciting. That will be uh, revealed soon. And yeah, I don't want to say too much without getting in trouble, but I can tell you it's going to be really cool.
Well, I
Um,
love a good tease, and I love that you guys are coming already planning for your next launch. Do you have any idea what kind of timeline you're looking at when people can expect the next Intimately series to drop?
Yeah, so we've been trying to release at least an extended size range by the end of the year. We've been getting so many requests for larger sizes. Currently, we go up to 3XL, but people really want like a 4XL up to even like a 6XL release. So that's what we're pushing for. And then in terms of new stuff, probably between like winter and spring. We're doing our best to push things out as quickly as possible.
Very
Um, and then I will say that we did just add a new product to our website, which is exciting. It's a pair of, actually two pairs of period, like incontinence underwear. So we've also gotten a lot of requests for that. So if that's something that sounds good or someone's interested in who's listening, they're really cute and they're new on the site.
Very cool. That is something that I wanted to mention to our listeners is that the sizing, there is a size guide on the website, but the sizing runs a little bit small, I think, in that the sizes are a little bit small in that like I looked at the size guide and my measurements lined up with different sizes. So I went with the larger size and it seems to fit me pretty well. But I got 2XL and I'm a usually like a medium or a large. So
Mhm.
you might want to just prepare that. Um, yeah, if you have a larger body type, you might need to wait until the end of the year. But I'm really excited to hear that more sizes are coming soon.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you for mentioning that. It's true, like especially for the item that you have, because it's satin, it's not
yeah,
stretchy. Definitely run small. And then I did hear that feedback from a few people. So actually, I added in the size guide a little user rating. So if you go into the sizes, you can kind of see like a little bar, and it will tell you if it fits like on the smaller side or if it's true to size. So
very
um,
cool.
just like thank you for the reminder. I just wanted to like mention that.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are incorporating feedback even in that part of the process. So another thing that I love about Liberare is the Liberare community page, community Slack. Tell us a little bit more about what the community aspect of Liberare is.
Sure. To be honest, our amazing Chief Creative Officer, Alyssa, runs that. And I'll just say, as a company, it's important to us that we have a lot of community involvement. Obviously, like beyond the feedback, we just want to be a place where what disabled women can come together and just kind of feel like they're in a safe space to chat. In terms of maybe dating and like sexuality and fashion, those aren't really topics that I feel like are easily available in the internet. So it's really nice that Alyssa's been able to curate this amazing space for women, not only to just kind of like find articles and like, maybe answer some questions, but also just to have that interaction like amongst themselves. And I will say, along those lines, is we've been trying to release an app to further that socialization. So that will be a really cool feature once it comes out. And I think they're pushing to finish that up within the end of the year. But yeah, just kind of think like a really neat like social app where you just know that you're communicating with disabled women and women who identify as women. And yeah, I think it's really neat. Like you can make a profile, there's posts, you can ask questions. One of the topics that came up in our beta testing was like, where do I put disability in my Hinge profile? Like just stuff that you like as a person would like want to know. And there's really nowhere to go for that information. So you can kind of chat with other women who are going through it with you, which is really cool.
That's awesome. And you mentioned that it can be a little bit uncommon, I guess, for people to talk about disability and relationships or disability and sexuality. And obviously, Liberare and you are a huge part of that conversation right now. Why do you think that it's so difficult for people to kind of wrap their heads around the fact that disabled women might want to be sexy? And why do you think it's so important that we help them achieve that goal?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think I think a part of it is historical. Our society puts certain value in certain types of bodies. And I mean, we're talking about like bodies that maybe aren't the right weight or the right color. And that extends to bodies that might not have the functions that society has like deemed as normal or accepted. So that's been part of the struggle. And I'm still learning so much about it myself, and I've learned so much from the women on my team about it. But I think fashion's like a really, at least for me, I see it as fashion's a really important way to not only just like express yourself, but also to kind of develop a sense of self. So I think, if you start to see yourself in like medical garments all the time, and a lot of, let's face it, like disabled garments are like a little bit medical. It's getting better finally, but I think it's kind of like you see yourself and you don't feel like yourself. And I think that impacts your interaction, like as your day to day, your confidence and how you see yourself. So yeah, I think like there's so many layers of it that I don't possibly feel qualified to like talk about. But yeah, I just think like if you feel beautiful, you sort of feel valued for yourself. And yeah, I think it's like a really beautiful thing. Um, yeah.
Totally. I believe that Emma told me that you have a background in fashion before Liberare, but what made you want to work with the disabled community specifically?
Yeah, so for several years, I worked in New York City for a fashion company that did intimates and PJs for brands like Lucky Brand and like Costco, so like bigger mainstream brands. And during the pandemic, I was able to kind of take a step back, I think, as most people were, and reevaluate kind of how I wanted to contribute my skills and really like what I wanted to work towards during my day to day. And during that time, I came across Emma's page, and I just actually like reached out to her and like sent her a love note. I was like, I love this. It's so cool. Um,
Awesome.
and yeah, it was just very casual, I guess. And um, I think I may have mentioned like, I'm a designer, like I'd love to talk to you about your brand. And yeah, we just kind of chatted and and clicked. And so for a little while I was like suggesting like things to her, and like we were working back and forth kind of informally. And then when they closed their funding, they brought me on. But yeah, I for years I was in New York City just doing like the regular fashion design person stuff.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you sent Emma your love note and that you were able to join the Liberaire team. Um, Other than, of course, buying some wonderful intimates as well as stickers, prints, and more on Liberaire's website, how else can people get involved and support what you're doing? For instance, people who might not need or want lingerie, but still want to support the awesome work that you guys are up to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have multiple ways you can support us if you want. There's always sharing content, tell your friends about us. And I think we're releasing gift cards on the website as well. So if you have somebody in your life who you think might want to shop eventually, you could maybe, I don't know, get them a gift card. But yeah, I think it's just if you really want to help or be involved, like we do have, like I mentioned before, a newsletter that has not only just like, it has like shopping stuff in it, but also has like blog posts that come out, and like events and really other cool stuff that even if you don't want to like buy the bras, you could utilize or just even benefit from. Um, Jerry, who's one of our content creators, she writes really amazing stuff, both from her personal experience as a disabled woman, and also just from different things that she does. I know she's involved in some medical trials, and she's a part of some other like disabled groups, so she's got a very wide perspective on what's going on in that community. So yeah, I would say start with the newsletter, sign up. It's really fun. Get cool stuff in your news box, in your inbox. And yeah.
That's awesome. I have been a subscriber of the newsletter for a long time, and my favorite part is you often send out staff picks, like staff favorites, and I have found a bunch of great books and articles about disability and everything else through that section, and I just love hearing from you guys. So everyone listening should definitely sign up. Can you tell our listeners what the website is and what your social media handles are?
Oh, absolutely. So our website is www.liberare.co, and liberare.co is also our Instagram and Twitter handle, and our TikTok handle. So if you look that up, you can probably find us. There's not a lot of companies called Liberare, so honestly, if you just type that into Google, you will probably find us. But yeah.
Fantastic. Well, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners before we wrap up this show?
I am just so happy to speak with you. You guys are doing amazing work, and like the things that I've seen you guys working on through your website are just so cool. And it's just really important to, I think, get people's like opinions and like what's happening out there. So I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Well, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, and we hope we can collaborate soon. Maybe we can get you guys to come out to Accessibility is Beautiful this year.
Ooh, absolutely.
But before we go, make sure and tell our listeners about the discount code they can get for Liberare.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. So for this week only, we're offering a discount code 20% off, and it is RAMP20. So I believe that starts tonight and runs for a week, so ends next Wednesday. But 20% off, that will be for the Liberare products on the website. Go shop, it's fun, treat yourself.
Definitely do not sleep on that. It is an excellent company, excellent products. So definitely don't forget to use RAMP20 at liberare.co if you want to get some of their awesome products. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening and joining us. Tina will not be back until August, but I will be back same time next week with a special guest, Professor Sarah Skeels, and we will be discussing the history of the ADA and why it matters. So don't forget to tune in, and as always, don't just sit there, make a difference.
To take home the Golden Gloves, you've got to put in the work, and you've got to be tough as nails. Ashley Kalis was driven to achieve. Today, Kalis is still fueled by that same hope, grit, and determination. A mother of 3 school-aged boys and successful business owner who ran testing and vaccination sites across the state. Kalis is the fighter Rhode Island needs right now because it's time for a change. Ashley Kalis for governor.